Okay, we are into the picks and bans, and that stream will be updated soon with that stuff for you guys. We are banning out Talon and Elise, it seems. Talon being very, very strong, able to jump in and instantly blow up one, if not two, maybe even three, depending on how late in the game it is, people, with his ultimate and just his massive AoE damage. Elise dealing tons of percentage damage, and as well as that cocoon being very good for getting catches, has a really strong execute and able to make some really interesting plays with that repel. And Kassadin being banned out as well. His mobility is just bar none the best on the map. Even with those map specific nerfs, he is still a top contender. And looking over at Purple Team, what bans do we have, Sir Koravel?
We have a Kayle ban, which is interesting. She's a good champion. It's just a lot of times people won't ban her, so I'm curious if someone on the blue team is a Kayle player. We have a Wukong ban. As we said earlier, Wukong has a nice AoE knock-up with his ultimate, does a lot of damage, has the armor shred, and he's got the very annoying decoy, which makes it hard to pin him down. And then everybody hates Teemo, and still bans Teemo.
Teemo.
It's never going to be a bad ban to ban Teemo, if you ask half-hearted at least. I actually didn't get the chat bans. I know Kha'Zix was one of them. I don't know who the other three were.
I remember Kha'Zix, Yasuo. I want to say Karma, but Afro is picking Karma, so I don't know.
I
know
assume Nidalee's banned since no one picked her up.
Yeah, Nidalee, Yasuo, I remember seeing. For sure, Kha'Zix is out of the picture. I want to say it was Karma. I'm very sorry, guys. I was busy dealing with some other stuff and did not get to see those. So whatever we don't see pick that gets left open is obviously banned. But we do have the Pantheon pickup coming out for blue team right now, and Pantheon being that very strong bruiser, again, not falling off as hard in Dominion because of all the pen we build. And actually, over on purple team, they picked up the Vi+Jarvan, which is a very, very scary combo. Vi+Jarvan put together is just, you're not going to have any armor, and we are going to burst you so hard when we engage.
I've got the chat bans, and Nidalee is not banned.
Oh.
So that's
Kha'Zix,
interesting.
Karma, LeBlanc, and Yasuo. Okay.
So on blue team, we do have a Pantheon pickup for the first pick. Pantheon, Leona, and Annie. That is a lot of hard CC. That is 3 stuns, and then Leona's E, which is pretty much a stun too, just not a very long one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as I was just saying with the Vi and the Jarvan, it is a very strong all-in composition, but the thing that's really hard to play Vi or even Pantheon with is when you're jumping into something that's going to blow you up. And playing a lot of bruisers myself and initiators, jumping into a Leona and Annie and Pantheon is not something that you want to do on Vi.
It is not fun.
It is very terrible. I have had many games where you just do nothing as Vi because you have to go in to deal your damage, but as soon as you do, you just get locked down, you get blown up. There's nothing you can do. It's a horrible situation. So we'll see how they play that out, though. She does have the Jarvan and the Lulu to back her up when she goes in, and then a Zed pickup. Interestingly enough, we haven't seen a lot of him. He's mainly outclassed by a lot of the other assassins on Dominion, but he can still do some very interesting work in bot lane.
Insta-lock Thresh.
We have an insta-lock Thresh, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who have been around Dominion a while, Thresh is considered the worst champion on the map next to Aatrox. So,
Aatrox has gotten a little bit better with the healing reduction move. That's what really killed Aatrox.
Bot lane, I like Aatrox. He's got some good stuff going for him down there. He can win a few matchups pretty well and hold even in others. But
curious where Thresh is going. I would have said Zed was bot lane until the Thresh was locked in, and I'm curious if they're going to send him bot. Because if they don't send him bot, Thresh and Lulu top is not a lot of damage.
It is going to be a very interesting game, but the Nidalee is going to get picked up. So as we see, they do have the Jarvan and the Vi for the hard engage, but with Nidalee sitting back and just poking, it's going to be really hard for them to try to engage, because as soon as they do engage, they're going to be running into that Leona, they're going to be running into that Annie, and they're just going to eat a face full of AoE damage, and it's going to hurt a lot. And Lord Lukewarm, actually picking up that Ezreal, he is known for his AP Ezreal in solo queue.
He plays a lot of AP Ezreal. He plays a lot of Teemo too, if that's the same guy I'm remembering. I'm just not seeing how Purple Team's going to be able to engage on this, because you jump in on them, you got an Annie stun, which will allow Leona to land her stun without possibly missing, and then Pantheon follows up that with the stun, which will make it so that Nidalee is not going to miss spears. Except for, I think actually Pantheon might be bot lane.
Pantheon, yeah, he is most likely going to be bot lane.
Monster is a bot laner, and I'm not sure who else they would send bot lane, to be honest, unless it's Ezreal.
Well, it is going to be interesting then if Pantheon's bot, because we may see Lukewarm playing an AD Ezreal, because I don't think they want to run 4 AP top, especially when you've got Nidalee and want that spear damage to be getting through.
So you have standard spells here, 4 Exhaust and Ignite on one side, and 3 Exhaust and 2 Ignites on the other, so it's general standard spells for Dominion. I'm curious to see where this Thresh is going. It'll change the way the game plays, depending on which place he's going. Because I don't think you can send Thresh and Lulu both top. I don't think you have enough damage there.
No, it'd be very difficult unless you're building the Lulu completely glass with, the BFT build and going into AP, but then she's going to be in danger of just getting hit by a Nid Spear, or, Ezreal Qs are going to chunk her down really, really hard.
Right, but she's almost forced to build quite a bit of magic damage because she is the only AP on the team.
That is also true.
Does have magic damage, but he's got his ultimate on a very long cooldown. That's where a lot of his damage is.
Yeah, most of the time if you're going to be building Thresh in Dominion, you want to get an extra chunk of AD in bulk, because the Flay damage will end up dealing a bit more for you than his AP.
Alright, which is why I have seen a few people play him bot lane recently. I don't really know how well he worked against Pantheon, but we shall see.
It is definitely going to be a very, very, very interesting matchup here.
I think the idea is for Vi or Jarvan to go in, Vi or Jarvan to go in, and then for Lulu to ult them. It's just I don't think it's going to work all that well against Blue Team's comp setup.
Yeah, they will be able to get some very good picks, though, because they do have, the Lulu slow with the polymorph. They have the Zed and the Vi and the Jarvan who can all jump in and get damage on something if they catch something out of position. So they're really going to have to try to look for picks and focus on ganks a bit more than trying to engage in 4-on-4 team fights. Because if it comes down to a team fight, I definitely think Blue Team has it.
Well, the other thing to think about is that if it does come down to a team fight and it's anywhere close to bot lane, Monster can ult in, and that will make it a 5v4.
That is also true, yeah. They got that Pantheon ult sitting from bot. We've seen Sauron do it so many times, where he's sitting bot, pushes the lane in really hard, and then just ults into top into that team fight, wins it, and that's how he actually got that substantial amount of damage on Pantheon that one time.
It's not something you see a lot of people doing from bot lane going up to help top fights, but that is how you turn them.
Alrighty, and we are loading into this game here, getting ready to rock and roll. And I am one of your casters for today. I am Fancy Wolf. Many of you know me as the ex-top Dominion streamer, because suddenly I just stopped streaming I just didn't want to stream anymore. But I am back in streaming more. I am doing some speedruns and not all Dominion all the time. Been doing 3v3 and SR a lot too, but I will be streaming a lot. You can find me over at twitch.tv/SirFancyWolf and all that good stuff. Maloka will link that in the chat for you. And casting with me today is...
And my name's Koravel, and I'm the other half of your casters. And I think Maloko should probably put in the guide that I wrote for Dominion in chat. I stream occasionally, but not so much anymore. Mostly because I started playing a lot of Smite. Not sure how many people want to see that. So we do have on the bottom is going to be our team called the Muffin Club. On Vi is going to be Fantasticals, and on Zed is Iotoni. I suppose that's how you can pronounce that. And then Lulu is being played by computer. So
so Lulu's a bot, confirmed.
Jarvan the Fourth is being played by Wilson 2, Wilson 2X. And then Bilal182 is playing Thresh, and actually I just remembered I have seen him in blind pick play Thresh, and he is the one Thresh that I have ever seen do well in Dominion. I
really?
That was Bilal, so we shall see if he can do it well in DD.
That wouldn't happen to be the Thresh that we were in a game together.
Yes,
and
with Lee Sin, and they were
Yes,
jumping all over the map. That was him.
I remember that. I was like, man, this Thresh is actually doing pretty decent, except for the fact he's Thresh. It bugs me, but he is doing okay. So, that is very, very good. All right, and then over on the other team, we do have Cunning Stunts with FOE Odin Barson, Lord Lukewarm, known for his AP Ezreal in solo queue, Afro Dynasty, known for his Karma, but that was banned out. And then we have Beast919, another familiar face from Dominion community on that Nidalee, and Monster, known for his bot lane and super awesome Pantheon play. Well, I guess that we'll see. What is he going to be bought against is the question.
I'm curious if he didn't pick Heimerdinger because that wasn't banned. It would have been a good pick.
Oh yeah, he does play a lot of Heimerdinger.
Really good Heimerdinger. So I'm just wondering if he picked Pantheon specifically because he can jump up and turn team fights. We do see Ezreal started with a tier, which I'm not completely familiar with Ezreal, but I think if you start with the tier, you're probably going AD.
Yes.
Monomune.
Going to turn that into Monomune. By starting tier, though, you have to remember his early game is severely hurt. Dominion is a very fast-paced game mode, and starting tier, unless your team is aware of it and ready for it, can really hurt your team composition and a lot of your early game strategy.
I believe Half-Hearted had a good post on the Dominion forums where he's talking about tier Ezreal. The advantages of it are that once you do finish Muramana, the proc increases his damage further than a normal Ezreal build would. But until that point, you aren't going to have all that much damage at all. So you have to be able to determine which games you can get away with doing it, which games you cannot.
Yeah, I've played quite a few.
Just said that Luke actually goes Muramana into Lichbane.
That's
very interesting. We'll see if he does that here.
Huh. Well, I have been in multiple games with Emperor High Peoples, now retired Peoples, or refried Peoples, depending on how you read his name, or some other things that I just can't say on stream because I don't want to be rude. But and when he gets that Muramana and he hits that 15-ish minute mark, that's normally when late game builds start to kick in and you start to see that ramp up hit really hard. And I've seen him literally chase teams away by himself with that damage. So if he can get that Muramana, and apparently going for Lichbane, that's going to be a pretty heavy proc, depending on how much AP he builds behind that Lichbane.
Yeah, I'm just curious why he go for Muramana just for the proc, and then goes into Lichbane and then pure AP after that. That's an interesting build.
Or does he continue to hybridize and go for the?
No, I think Luke just told us in chat that he was going for Muramana.
Yes,
Lichbane.
He is going to go for Muramana Lichbane. Well, it's going to be interesting. We will see. Oh, they don't know how much time they can pause in game. Did we ever set the 15-minute time limit?
No, we should. Honestly, we really should set it so that you can pause for 15 minutes, because it wouldn't make sense for one team to pause for 29 minutes and 59 seconds, and the other team's got to pause for 10 seconds if they can't.
Yeah, that's...
seems weird.
I don't think anyone would abuse that, but if there were
but if something actually happened,
it
would.
Like
15 minutes should be the most you can pause, then you have to go. I actually have chat turned off, so what's the problem?
It seems someone is having bowel movements.
Oh, okay, that was not necessary information. I regret asking.
Sadly, he does not have a laptop to take with him, so we cannot continue the game while he is handling that issue. How about what's been going on? LCS, yeah, that TSM rocking first place.
Yeah, you're talking to the wrong guy. I don't want to see this.
Damn it, Koravel. So stream chat, 30 seconds in the past. How about that LCS? TSM fans in the house. Oh dear.
If he's going Muramana Lichbane and he's going AP, they have no 80 damage up there, because assuming Monster's going Cloud.
Yeah,
a little bit of magic resist to go a long way there.
I mean, what are you going to send bot instead? Are you going to put Ezreal down there? And if you were looking at this team comp, would you say, I would think Thresh was going to be bot lane, looking at that team comp.
Right.
And I wouldn't expect, Zed or Lulu down there. Well, actually, I could probably see Lulu down there, because I've seen a few people run Lulu bot and do very, very good with it. Especially against something like Pantheon with the melee. He has to try to gap close, and you just sit back and poke all day, and he can't get in on you.
The other thing they could do, I'm pretty sure Monster's running bot. They could send Annie bot lane. She is actually a blue bot. You have to be a little careful. Basically, you have to make sure your W can be used to clear creeps, but it's got to also set up your stun, because a good bot laner will go in on you every time you use your W to clear creep waves, because that's part of your damage. It's actually half your damage of your ultimate stuff. But I have seen her bot quite effectively. But like I said, I'm pretty sure Monster's running bot lane. They could send Thresh bot or Thresh top, to be honest with Lulu, and send Zed bot. It's just they're going to be more focused on trying to defend. So if the point is actually taken away from them, it will be hard for them to get it back.
Yeah.
But they could have Lulu, Thresh, Jarvan by, and that would be very difficult to take a point away from them. And we do have an unpause.
Okay. So, let's get back into this game. Man, I wish the game would just kind of like fast forward 30 seconds sometimes with this 1 minute.
You're going to have to delay so that you can't have someone sniping the game. Ooh, we have a snow bunny maybe. I didn't notice that.
Oh, we do. And Leona opting for that Kindle gem, wants to go for that CDR with a little bit of HP. Going for boots as well. Normally you see the Kindle gem with a Doran shield to back it up for a bit more bulk, because you are missing that extra HP from starting with the Giant's Belt or Double Ruby.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of people get the Doran shield on Leona, except for, like, I think Peoples is the one who started doing it for the ride or did it. But most people that I've seen in DD seem to go boots on Leona first, or either a Double Ruby or
Yeah, that the Doran shield is actually very, very helpful. Doran's Ruby and Cloth Armor start is very good for top lane if they have a lot of AD auto attackers. It literally turns your tank into an unstoppable front line for the beginning of the game.
Yeah, because assuming you're going into defensive masteries, which you should be, you have 13 less damage to take from auto attacks. And we do see Zed going bot lane, so it will be Thresh and Wukong top.
Very, very interesting. That bot lane matchup with Zed ulting and then running into a Pantheon stun will be a little painful.
He's going to start spearing. Ezreal does not have... He's got the poke, but it just doesn't have that much damage with the tier backing him up.
Yeah, the problem here is they do have quite a bit of poke up here, but with the Nidalee spears, they're hitting pretty hard. But if Ezreal had that little bit of extra AD on him right now, he could be dealing some good damage. But if they get hard engaged on, like right here, yeah, Ezreal's just going to pop. And Nidalee can't really get into that fight because all she has right now is her spears until she gets Cougar.
So this Lulu polymorph and slow makes it really easy for Thresh to land his hook. Oh, nice grab.
Very good hook there. Awesome job. A little skirmish going on in bot lane here. Pantheon and Zed duking it out. Pantheon have a very, very nice wave built up here. If he can keep this wave going, he may be able to get the point neutralized, but he has to be very careful because that Zed can burst him down. That passive auto attack will hurt a lot.
Yeah, Pantheon's about to... He doesn't need to take that much of a risk because his minions are, well... I was going to say his minions are going to be neutralized, but they split up, so now I don't know if you're going to have enough to get it.
Yeah, it is a Zed bot too, so he does have a really good wave clear with his shadows and AoE damage.
Going back up top, unfortunately Purple recalled on the point, and that allows Lulu to know that they were not there.
Yeah, so they're essentially resetting this windmill fight here, and Vi going right in. Ooh, able to land some really good damage. That Leona just not feeling super tanky when it comes to that Jarvan and Vi armor pen coming through. And Thresh is going to go down. Very nicely done. Nidalee Spear still coming across, chunking people down. And Annie, getting jumped on by that Vi. Very nice punch, but will be taken down. Jarvan coming across to finish her off. And, great double kill by that Jarvan there. But the Nid Spear to finish him off.
I was going to say that the fight might be turned by whoever hits 6 first, but Annie hit 6 and then didn't drop her tippers. That was interesting.
So let's see if Thresh can hold this off 1v2. He is at full health, and the other two are fairly low, and he might actually have this. Vi is already on her way back up. She did pop that revive, and there is the hook onto Leona. She is going to be taken out. Very nicely done. And Zed ulting onto Pantheon in bot lane, but he is just going to back out. Did not get enough damage on him to take him out completely.
That Pantheon passive makes it difficult for Zed to take him out.
Yeah, because you try to get your auto attack proc off, and it just blocks it, so you have to hit him again to do it.
So it also blocks the magic damage portion too, I believe.
Yeah, because it just completely blocks the auto attack and any on-hit modifiers along with it. So it's very, very good to have.
Zed still has his revive there. He's going to pop it in order to stop Annie.
Yeah, Pantheon is reviving running bot. I might want to ult up top if I were him. Nope, they are still going to hard pressure onto this bot lane. Annie, it does get the stun off on Zed, and they are going to just completely melt him. Alright, now blue team needs to be very, very careful up here in top lane. They need to stay very defensive and sit back, which they're going to be able to do very easily because they do have the Nidalee and the Ezreal to just poke away.
They just picked off Lulu with the mid spear and Ezreal, so they are
very nicely done.
Pretty hard.
And Ezreal does have that Muramana finished, and on Dominion, Muramana stacks very, very fast compared to Summoner's Rift or ARAM. So
actually, he's got Mana.
Manamuna, excuse me.
Finish. Not quite Muramana yet.
Muramana is the transformation, but he is already up to 400.
Oh, this is 5 top.
Out of the 750, and that is 5 top right now. Zed still taking back his bot point, so this is actually a very good play by blue team. They are going to be able to get this back, but is Ezreal going to be safe? He will make it out alive. Very nicely done.
Pantheon does not have his ultimate, so he's going to need to start heading back pretty soon if he doesn't want Zed to get his point. Oh, and Lulu just barely.
Lulu, you still have vision on you? Oh, that Nidalee pounds. Very nicely done. And they are going to be able to get that top lane back and get the quest as well. They're going to continue onto this Jarvan and just start tearing him apart. I don't know if you guys can do it, though. Do you have the damage to finish him off? Do you have the Annie stun? Oh, there's Leona stun. Here comes the Annie stun to finish him. There we go. Very nice stun. And that Leona ult is going to be down. Wanted to try to secure the kill. Did not see that Annie Q coming out. And oh, very nicely done. That Annie shield keeping her up, keeping her nice and bulky. The stun coming out, finishing her off. The Lulu ult keeping that Vi alive, and very wow. These plays.
Yeah, that's something you want to be careful about with Annie. Or as Zed onto Annie, she's pretty deceptively tanky with her shield, so they are going to get the forecap.
Very, very nicely played by the Nidalee and Leona combo there, using those sunlight procs to get that extra damage and finishing off that Lulu with the auto attack.
It's pretty much 2 champions Beast I've seen Beast plays, Nidalee and Talon, which is why it was interesting to me that they banned Talon themselves.
Oh, this Pantheon ult coming down onto the Thresh. They are just going to completely melt him. That Ezreal, even for not having much damage, still did quite a bit. And then Pantheon, of course, having his penetration items already going, is going to be able to get a lot of damage down.
Pantheon does drop, but they took out the Jarvan. Now is Ezreal going to be able to get away? Yes.
Oh, but
Annie here, Annie has her ult, which she does.
If she can get that stun back up and drop it on both of them, they could nuke it down, but Thresh is coming out, so they are going to back off. And now here's something that... Here is where Thresh, and why Thresh is not considered the best in Dominion, is because he can't stack his passive really well. And his cooldowns are also really, really high in the early game, so when you're going against another tank like Leona, for instance, who has still really good engage, can help her team do a lot of damage, and has really good lockdown, and that Annie ult completely blowing up by, it becomes really hard for Thresh to keep up with a lot of the traditional tanks.
And just the fact that I got caught out there, stuff really easy. And I think the Ezreal, oh nope, didn't hit Zed. Didn't say it hit Zed, but it did not because Ezreal did not get assist on it.
And that is
somehow Pantheon killed him so fast that he didn't do any damage to him. I'm curious to know how that happened.
It is Pantheon. Spear, stun, Heartseeker, spear.
Yeah, I mean, Zed used his ultimate on him. He just didn't have any damage behind
Oh, he has Relic.
Yeah,
that's why.
Relic.
So the Relic probably gave him that extra oomph. And Nidalee actually just went back to buy and finally bought items.
Void stats for them.
Yep.
Yeah, they're going to need some time. They got Gosh again. They're going to need some help. Bot lane. Zed's not going to be able to take that back by himself.
Yeah, no, that Pantheon is looking very scary. Nice stun from Annie, catching all 3 of them there. And the Muramana is finished on Ezreal. That damage is going to start spiking onto people. So excellent, excellent. That build is paying off right now. They kept that strong early game, and now Ezreal is going to very easily be able to carry them through the late game.
And he's got the stun if he can catch up to Lulu. Oh my goodness, that Ezreal.
Oh, that damage!
He also has Sheen, so that's it. That's where that's coming from.
Annie did nothing in that, by the way. That was just all Ezreal nuking her down.
I think Ezreal's... Oh no, I guess Annie didn't got the black fire.
Yep, and that is going. Oh, they're getting the pushback, but again, Pantheon 1v1ing Zed, no problem. Doesn't have to worry about it. Zed actually opting for Blade of the King, going for it first. That's a kind of a risky pickup, especially when you're going against someone with not a lot of HP, like a Pantheon.
And Pantheon's going to open on top of these three here.
Oh, RIP and peace, Jarvan. It was nice knowing you, but that is still his last Pantheon. He is very squishy. But Nidalee is going to be here to clean that up and finish it up.
All they're doing right now is trying to hold the 5 cap as long as possible because it just does so much damage to the axis.
Yeah, you can see.
Oh.
It's every 2 seconds it takes off 5 more points, so that is a huge amount of life being chunked off of the Nexus. And Zed going in, but is not, maybe almost getting the kill on Nidalee there.
Yeah, Lulu's gonna be able to get the point back, but I don't think you're gonna have enough time to get up top and do anything. Thresh drops better faster again.
Yep. And they sit inside of that ultimate because they can't really go anywhere, and that is going to be the GG coming on out. Cunning Stunts taking it. Oh no, Ezreal! Oh no! Oh, he did not survive.
He was dunked.
He got dunked. Alrighty, let's get a look at those damage dealt charts. That is not damage dealt. My client's all messed up, so I'm trying to find it.
And the stream didn't have a thing for a second because I'm changing the victory.
Ah, there we go. There's damage dealt. Alright, looks like Nid up at the top, looking pretty good on that perch there, and Ezreal following a close second. And if that game would have gone any longer, Ezreal would have very quickly taken the top of the damage charts and just completely spiked him. I'll let Koravel get caught up on the stream here with his stream tech.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here. River gave us a nice overlay which had the new icon on the bottom, but unfortunately it doesn't seem like it wants to work. Oh, I should have to take Fancy's word for it.
Okay, so Ezreal did a lot of damage. Nidalee did the most. Thresh only outputting 2,000 damage. Compared to Leona, I should say, dealing 4,000. And most damage on the enemy team was Lulu with 11,000. Nicely done there. And Graveyard Hero, I have to try and find it here, so give me a second. That's gold.
Jarvan.
Minions. Time spent dead. Okay, and yes, it does look like Jarvan was the Graveyard Hero for the game. And I have just gotten the invite to the next game, so we will be right back. And we will get you guys that next game rocking.